All right, let's kick off this deep dive. We're taking a closer look at Ease My Trip, an Indian online travel company.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, should be pretty revealing. We've got their investor presentation and the official financial results to work with. Should give us a pretty clear picture.
Perfect.
So, ready to dig into the travel industry and see what's up with Ease My Trip.
Absolutely. Always fascinating to see how these companies are navigating the current landscape.
Yeah, for sure. Especially one like Ease My Trip. I mean, they're the second largest online travel platform in India, which is no small feat.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's even more impressive? They've consistently been in the green since they first launched back in 2008.
Wow, 2008, that's a long time.
It is. And to stay profitable that whole time, even through the chaos of the COVID years,
Yeah,
that's really something else.
definitely noteworthy, especially when you start looking at the numbers from the recent reports. Their performance is pretty striking. Just in the second quarter of fiscal year 2025, their gross booking revenue hit INR 20,756.4 million.
Whoa, and that's just Q2. And hold on, because for the first half of FY25, that figure basically more than doubles, jumps up to INR 43,501.1 million. And their profit after tax is nothing to sneeze at either, INR 583.5 million. Can't ignore the impact of their no convenience fees strategy either.
Right. That's got to be a huge factor.
Definitely a key differentiator in a market that's usually all about those extra charges.
Yeah, it's a refreshing approach, very customer-centric, and
Yeah.
the numbers show it's paying off. But there has to be more to the story, right? I mean, beyond the no convenience fees, what else is fueling their success? Their recent strategic moves have definitely caught my eye.
Oh, for sure. They've been busy, that's for sure.
Yeah, super active.
Yeah, I'd say the launch of ScanMyTrip.com is a big one for sure.
Interesting. What's that?
Well, it's actually India's first travel marketplace on the ONDC platform. It's a pretty cool idea.
Okay, I'm listening.
So basically, it's a platform that empowers all these smaller travel businesses like OTAs or even individual travel agents,
Hmm.
to compete at a much larger scale. It's kind of leveling the playing field.
That's really interesting. Could definitely shake things up in the Indian travel market, make it more inclusive,
Exact.
give those smaller players a voice. But Ease My Trip isn't just focused on online, are they? They're expanding their physical presence too, right?
Exactly.
Their goal is to hit 100 franchise stores by 2025.
That's right.
Ambitious, but, it shows they're confident about the market.
Definitely. And let's not forget about their partnership with the Uttar Pradesh Ecotourism Development Board.
Oh, yeah, good point. That one signals a strong commitment to sustainability, which is becoming more and more important for travelers these days.
Absolutely. It's a growing segment of the market and one they're clearly paying attention to.
Smart move for sure, tapping into that whole responsible travel trend.
Mhm.
But let's switch gears for a second and talk about their partnerships, because some of these seem especially strategic. What stands out to you?
Hmm. Well, their partnership with Phone Papa is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, offering hotel bookings right there in a popular payment app. Genius.
Yeah, total convenience.
Talk about simplifying the travel experience, right?
Yeah, makes things so much easier.
And the potential's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They could easily expand that to other services. Cabs, activities, you name it.
It really shows they get it.
They understand the needs of today's travel.
Yeah, they get it. And they're thinking ahead. They're tie-in with events like the IFA Festival 2024, where they're putting together these curated holiday packages and even offering exclusive IFA passes. That's going to be a smart move for brand visibility.
Oh, for sure. Reaching a very targeted audience, associating their brand with a high-profile event, very clever.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the co-branded travel debit card with Bank of Baroda.
Right, discounts, perks, it's all about adding value.
For the customer at every point in their journey.
Exactly.
Smart. And let's not forget those aggressive promotional campaigns they've been running. The Azadi Mega Sale, for example, with those huge discounts on flights, hotels, holiday packages.
Yeah, those are hard to resist.
Especially when they're partnering with major airlines and hotels.
For sure.
But I gotta say, the most unexpected move has to be their venture into green mobility.
It was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, you don't usually associate that with online travel companies.
Totally unexpected.
So they're investing INR 200 crore in easy green mobility.
That's a serious commitment.
Big time.
Yeah.
And their goal is to manufacture, get this, thousands of electric buses by 2027-28.
Wow.
It's a major undertaking.
It is.
They've teamed up with YOLO Bus to make it happen.
So they're focusing on sustainable long-distance travel.
Exactly. And tapping into the booming Indian EV market.
Smart move, no doubt.
It really positions Ease My Trip as a potential leader in sustainable travel.
For sure. And it aligns perfectly with India's push for greener transportation.
Absolutely. And while they're doing all of this, they're also racking up industry awards. They just won the Best OTA National Award at the Global Tourism Awards 2024.
Impressive.
And they were named the Best Online Travel Portal of India at the prestigious Brands of India 2024 Awards.
Wow, so those awards really solidify their position at the top of the Indian travel industry?
For sure.
They're not just surviving, they're thriving
Right.
and innovating like crazy.
Yeah, seriously.
But now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's dive deep into their financial performance. The recent reports are full of juicy insights.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's start with the gross booking revenue breakdown for Q2 FY25. It's interesting to see how that's divided up.
Okay, so what are we seeing?
Well, flights are still the biggest chunk, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But their hotels and holiday packages segment, that's showing some really strong growth.
Really? How much?
Hotel nights booked surged by a whopping 75.3% year-on-year in Q2.
75.3%. That's
Yeah.
massive.
It is.
Clearly, their non-air business segments are gaining some serious traction. That's a trend to watch for sure.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
So what about their profit after tax, the PAT margin? That's always a key metric.
Right, so for Q2 FY25, they landed a solid 17.3% PAT margin.
17.3%, not bad at all.
Yeah, pretty impressive when you consider the average PAT margin for the Indian OTA sector is around 10%.
Oh, wow, so they're well above average.
It seems like they're converting revenue into profit much more efficiently than their competitors. Do you think that level of profitability is sustainable in the long run?
That's a good question.
Right. It makes you wonder.
Of course, their no convenience fees strategy has been a big part of their success. But I wonder, if relying on that solely could become a bit risky down the line, especially if competitors start slashing prices.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It puts pressure on Ease My Trip to keep innovating, to find other ways to attract and retain customers.
Yeah, they can't just rest on their laurels.
Exactly.
So they need to balance that customer-centric pricing with innovative strategies that offer real value. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate that going forward.
Absolutely.
Now, let's dig a little deeper into these financial reports.
Okay, what else have you got?
Well, one thing that jumps out is their commitment to internal accruals for growth.
Interesting. What does that mean exactly?
So basically, they haven't been seeking external equity infusion.
So they're not relying on outside investments.
Exactly. They're funding their expansion and initiatives using profits generated by the business itself.
So a self-reliant approach to growth?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a powerful message.
It really is.
Shows a lot of confidence in their business model.
Yeah, for sure. And it demonstrates their commitment to sustainable business practices.
Absolutely, a sign of long-term thinking.
And their historical financials tell an even more compelling story. Since 2020, their revenue from operations has been growing at a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 38%.
Whoa, 38%? That's some serious growth,
It is.
especially considering what the economy's been through in recent years.
Right.
It really speaks to their ability to capitalize on the travel rebound while staying incredibly efficient.
It really does. And their cash flow from operations is another positive sign. It's been consistently over INR 580 million in recent years.
Wow, so what does that tell us about their overall financial health?
Well, basically, it shows they're not just generating revenue, they're translating it into tangible financial strength. That's a solid foundation for future growth and expansion.
Absolutely.
And it gives them the flexibility to navigate any bumps in the road.
Right, they're prepared for whatever comes their way.
Exactly. And their focus on operational efficiency is really reflected in their low-cost income ratio and high EBITDA margin. Some of the best in the Indian OTA space, actually.
So what's the takeaway there? What does that say about their operational strategy?
Well, it tells me they're disciplined about cost management and resource allocation. They're running a lean operation, and it's clearly working.
They're not just throwing money at problems.
Exactly. They're making smart decisions that maximize efficiency.
Makes sense.
And it's interesting to see how their no convenience fees model, which seems like it's all about the customer.
Right.
It's actually a reflection of this bigger focus on efficiency and cost optimization.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's a strategy that benefits everyone.
Exactly.
Streamlining operations, cutting unnecessary costs, and ultimately offering lower prices to the customer.
It's a win-win. So we're looking at a company that's not just focused on financial performance, but also on social responsibility,
Hmm.
especially with their green mobility venture. They're winning awards, growing like crazy, and committed to sustainability. It's a pretty impressive combination.
No argument there. It's a
Yeah.
testament to their adaptability and their vision. They're not just riding the wave, they're shaping the future of travel.
Totally agree.
Ease Me Trip's a company that's not afraid to challenge the status quo, to push the boundaries. They're a true innovator.
Definitely.
And they're proving that success doesn't have to come at the cost of the environment or social responsibility. It's very inspiring.
Yeah, it really is. So let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about what this all means for our listener.
Okay, good idea.
Why should they care about the financial performance of an Indian travel company? What are the key takeaways from this deep dive?
That's a great question. Because while the details of Ease My Trip's performance might seem relevant only to investors or people in the industry, their story actually offers valuable lessons for anyone who's interested in business, innovation, or sustainability.
I agree.
Their journey is a real-world example of how a company can thrive in a dynamic market by staying true to its core values while embracing new opportunities.
Yeah, it's a great example of that.
They've shown that it's possible to be customer-centric and financially disciplined at the same time, to prioritize growth while keeping things efficient, and to embrace innovation while staying committed to sustainability.
That's a powerful message.
Absolutely. They're not just a travel company, they're a case study in how to build a successful and sustainable business in the 21st century. Their story is about so much more than numbers and metrics. It's about vision, strategy, and execution.
And about making a real impact.
Exactly. They've shown that it's possible to achieve remarkable growth while staying true to your values and making a positive difference in the world. Their commitment to green mobility really embodies that.
Yeah, it's a great example of that.
It's a bold move for sure,
It is.
and it has the potential to truly change the Indian travel landscape, to contribute to a more sustainable future.
I love that. It's a story that's still being written.
It is, and it's one worth following closely.
Definitely. We've covered a lot of ground today, from their incredible financial performance to those bold steps in green mobility.
It's been fascinating.
It has. We've seen how they're blending those customer-centric strategies with operational efficiency and a genuine commitment to sustainability.
Ease My Trip's a company that's clearly not afraid to shake things up, to push the boundaries. They're a true innovator,
Definitely.
and they're proving that remarkable success is possible while also making a positive impact on the world.
So to our listener, keep an eye on Ease My Trip.
They're a company to watch, not just for their business smarts, but for their dedication to building a better future.
Absolutely.
They're an inspiring example of what's possible when a company brings together vision, strategy, and a deep sense of purpose.
I couldn't agree more. So for part one, let's wrap it up there.
Sounds good.
We'll be back in just a minute to continue this deep dive into Ease My Trip.
Looking forward to it. It really is. It's a massive undertaking for sure. But if anyone can pull it off, it might be Ease My Trip.
I think so too. I mean, they've consistently shown a willingness to push those boundaries, challenge the status quo.
Absolutely. They're not afraid to take those calculated risks.
Right, venture into uncharted territory.
Exactly. The track record speaks for itself, right?
It really does. It's remarkable when you think about it, their journey from a no convenience fees travel platform to a potential player in the green mobility space.
It is. It says a lot about their ability to adapt, to envision the future of travel.
And their move into green mobility is particularly fascinating.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this could signal a major shift in the entire Indian travel landscape.
No doubt. Imagine a future where companies like Ease My Trip are at the forefront of sustainable travel practices.
It's a compelling vision, for sure.
Not just in India either, but globally.
But as we touched on earlier, there are some big hurdles to overcome.
Right, there are.
For example, EV charging infrastructure in India, it's still in its early stages.
It is. And ensuring those reliable and accessible charging stations, especially along those long-distance routes.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial.
Absolutely crucial.
And then there's battery technology, right?
Yeah, huge factor.
These electric buses need batteries with enough range to cover long distances.
Right, without needing to stop and recharge every few miles.
Which is especially important in a country as vast as India. Travel times can be pretty long.
Absolutely. You're talking hours on the road sometimes.
And let's not forget about the Indian transportation system itself.
Right, it's complex.
Navigating the regulations, the infrastructure limitations, the logistics of a large-scale EV operation, it's not going to be easy.
No, it's going to take a lot of expertise, a lot of resources to get it right.
For sure. Trip's going to have to leverage their strength in logistics and operations.
Oh, yeah, they've got a good foundation there.
But they're also going to need to develop some new competencies, ones that are specific to the EV industry.
Absolutely. It's a whole new ball game in some ways.
It'll be fascinating to see how they approach all of these challenges. I mean, their success here could have ripple effects throughout the entire travel and transportation sector.
Absolutely.
Their venture into green mobility really has the potential to be a game changer.
I agree.
Not just for Ease My Trip, but for the future of sustainable travel in India and beyond.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, so let's circle back to their financial performance for a moment. Their recent reports actually highlight some other interesting metrics worth discussing.
All right, what else jumps out at you?
Well, we touched on it briefly earlier, but their revenue from operations, it's been growing at a compound annual growth rate of 38% since 2020.
38%. That's amazing.
It really is impressive, especially considering the impact of the pandemic on the travel industry. It tells me Ease My Trip's been able to really capitalize on that resurgence of travel demand.
They've not missed a beat.
Not at all. And they've done it while maintaining a really high level of operational efficiency.
Which brings us back to their commitment to internal accruals for growth.
Exactly.
That definitely plays a role in their financial success. They're not relying on outside funding for all of this.
Right. They're funding their expansion and new initiatives like that green mobility venture using profits generated by the business itself.
That's smart. It demonstrates a level of financial discipline and strategic planning that you don't always see,
Right.
especially with companies growing as rapidly as they are.
It's a really sustainable approach to growth, I think.
Absolutely. And it sends a great message to investors and stakeholders
It shows they're focused on building a strong, resilient business.
for the long haul. Not just chasing those quick profits, they're building a solid foundation for sustained success.
And their consistently strong cash flow from operations exceeding INR 580 million in recent years just reinforces that point.
It's a really good sign.
It tells me they're really good at converting that revenue into tangible financial strength.
Which gives them the resources to reinvest in the business, right? To fuel further growth and innovation.
Exactly. And it provides a nice cushion, if they need to weather an economic downturn or face some unexpected challenges.
Absolutely. A strong cash flow is vital for any business, but especially in dynamic, rapidly evolving industries like travel.
Right. You got to be prepared for anything. And then you look at their cost-income ratio, their EBITDA margin, consistently some of the best figures in the Indian OTA landscape.
They're operating a very efficient and profitable machine.
Yeah, they are.
It's clear they're running a tight ship, managing costs effectively, maximizing their profitability, and still offering competitive pricing. That's got to be a major differentiator in such a competitive market.
It's interesting how their no convenience fees model, which at first glance seems like a customer-centric approach, is actually a reflection of this larger focus on efficiency and cost optimization.
You hit the nail on the head. They're not sacrificing one for the other. They found a way to make both work together beautifully.
It's a smart strategy, streamlining operations, minimizing unnecessary expenses, all so they can offer those lower prices to customers.
It's brilliant, really. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
So what we're seeing here is a company that's not just focused on financial performance. They're walking the walk when it comes to social responsibility.
Yeah, with their big move into green mobility, it's impressive. They're winning awards, experiencing incredible growth, and they're genuinely committed to a sustainable future. It's quite remarkable. They're really setting a high bar for others to follow. It's proof that you can achieve amazing business success while also making a positive impact on the world. It's inspiring.
It really is. It's a powerful reminder that business can be a force for good.
Couldn't agree more.
Ease My Trip is a perfect example. They're showing the world that it's possible to be profitable, innovative, and socially responsible all at the same time.
It's about making conscious choices, right?
Yeah, choices that benefit both the bottom line and the planet. Ease My Trip is clearly thinking long-term.
Absolutely. Their commitment to green mobility is a perfect example of that. It's a risky investment for sure,
It is.
but it's a risk they're willing to take because they believe in building a more sustainable future.
And their track record speaks volumes. I mean, they've consistently proven they can adapt, innovate, overcome obstacles.
They don't back down from a challenge.
Not at all.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this whole green mobility venture plays out.
Oh, yeah. Could be a real game changer for the Indian travel industry, even a model for other companies looking to make that shift towards sustainability.
I think so too.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
from their impressive financials to their bold move into green mobility.
And everything in between.
We've seen how they're combining those customer-centric strategies with operational efficiency and a deep commitment to sustainability.
Ease My Trip's a company that's not afraid to challenge the norms,
Yeah,
you know.
they're constantly pushing the boundaries. They're a real innovator in the travel space.
And they're demonstrating that you can achieve remarkable success while also making a positive impact on the world.
So to our listener, keep an eye on Ease My Trip.
They're definitely a company to watch.
Not just for their business savvy, but for their dedication to building a better future.
Couldn't agree more. They're an inspiration, really.
They really are a shining example of what's possible when vision, strategy, and purpose all come together.
Well said.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Ease My Trip.
Wow, time flies.
It really does. We hope you found this exploration insightful and engaging. Until next time.
Take care.